All right, guys, we're going to move on now to the second topic of today. Old head alert. The views of the old heads in this room, well, today it's going to be Mo, are not reflective of mine or maybe even Peter's views, but we'll soon find that out. Mo had a query about, taking it to the UK, Mo had a query about the UK rap scene, and he has a theory about the quality of music coming out of the UK rap scene. Mo, would you like to expand?
Yeah, so I'm going to try to be professional.
Professional?
Yeah, I'm just going to give everyone a heads up. I'm going to try to be a bit professional about this because I don't know if I can say what I really want to say. But I've had an epiphany. Since 2019, UK music has been meaty at its best. And this is what I mean by this. Any rapper that's come through from 2018 onwards, to me, has been, I don't know if I'm an old head or if it's average, but I feel like we've passed, I don't want to say a peak, but I feel like this can actually, do you remember when rap in America, UK hip hop, just hip hop in general, went through a couple of years of a drought? It was like famine. Went through a few years where it was just wet, like Flow Rider was popping, and we just had a few years where it was just meaty music. Young Dro, Hurricane Chris, all of that nonsense.
Hey baby.
Hey baby, Jay Quan, like we're just going through a lot of meaty process. I feel like Chingy. I feel like that's what we're living through now. And when I say that, I feel like when you go back to the resurgence to me of UK music, the 2013s and 2014s, when the Stormzy's came out, the Daves came out, the Fredos came out, the J Husses came out, even the producers like J5 and the Still Bangles came out. I feel like we're missing that. And I don't know if it's because of COVID, I don't know what it is. I just feel like the last few years, the energy we had for UK music where we were saying, I remember I used to say it freely to Yemi, and we used to say early on the podcast, I feel like I was making better music than America for a long, long time. I still feel like we are. But the ones that are making better music are the ones that were making better music 8 years ago.
Like who?
Like the Gets, the Daves from like 5-6 years ago, the Sims who's been around for such a long time, the Skeptors. There's people that.
So it's not the newer artists.
It's not the newer artists. Whereas in 2015, it was everyone was new.
Can I ask you man a question?
Do you get what I mean? Let's go.
How integral to this conversation is drill music?
That was going to be my question.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Do you feel like the fact that drill music is so popular is having an effect on UK rap as well, as far as everybody trying to do one type of sound and not seeing much variation in musicianship and just...
Before we answer that question, I want to ask Mo what your idea or what your definition of quality is with regards to this conversation, because there are a lot of new age rappers out here who, to some people, are making quality music and to some people aren't.
Like?
Well, I mentioned Central C. Tion Wayne makes good music.
Okay.
A lot of the drillers make good music, if you're willing to listen.
No, I'm willing to listen. It's just when something sounds meaty, and I feel like it's like you guys said, when everyone, I feel like in 2015, 2014, we had a resurgence where there were so many different artists rapping different ways, rapping over different things. There wasn't a straight one line like this is where we're all following. Whereas now you get that with drill. So maybe it's just we don't have the variety that we had years ago. But I do feel like we are going through a bit of a problem in the UK music right now, where the next talents, I don't think, are going to carry... Well, I can't say they're not going to carry on their back, but the wave that we had in 15, 13, 14, we are looking for that right now. There's no way people can't tell me they're not looking for at least some sort of new wave of artists.
And I think it's quite interesting that Mo is the person saying this, because if I was to say that mainstream UK rap scene is lacking any form of variation, any form of artistic greatness, great albums, we're devoid of classic albums, classic singles, and great music, you man would be calling me an old head. So I think it's wild that this is coming from Mohammed, but you man are going to let Mohammed get away with this and not call him a whole head. But let me say this shit.
I literally said old head alert.
But may I speak?
Go on, talk.
The difference between Mohammed and Peter is... Yemi, does Peter even give the 2015 artists their respect?
Does he even care to listen to any of these artists?
Do you know what I'm saying? You don't even give the 2015 man.
He says all that. He said all that with his chest as well.
Like he don't cut off at 05 and that's it.
And he knows he doesn't listen to
Yeah,
any
but
of
I
these
still
rappers.
hear stuff though, and I'm able to then say, you know what?
And just
Yeah,
to clarify,
I can see
we're
what's
talking
happening
about
in the scene.
we're talking about mainstream UK rap.
Yeah,
right?
just mainstream.
Because if
Just
you look
mainstream.
underground,
Just mainstream.
you're gonna find
Underground
variety.
is wonderful,
No,
as
we're-
it always is.
We're just talking mainstream right now.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, you don't even see the 2015 resurgence. That's where we disagree.
At all.
I see the resurgence, and I see the resurgence now done resurging.
You think it's done resurging? No, because I feel like we're still in the early stage of the UK scene. Yes, there was a grime resurgence in 2014, 2015, but the UK scene as a whole is still young. We're going through phases right now.
I feel like we was on fire at one point.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
mean,
feel like we are anymore. And I feel like we was legit on fire at
So
one point.
what
in
do
the
you
UK.
want to see? What would make you feel like, yeah, we're still making quality, and our scene is still making better music than America?
I just don't wanna-
What does it look like to you?
To me, we don't keep... When I'll be happy is when we stop relying on the same ones that we had.
well, like Stormzy, Dave.
And I feel like it's not fair because they're still young in their art. So I don't want to, with all due respect, they're still very young. So, but I know what to expect from. When I first heard Dave, when I first heard the Fredos, when I first heard whoever, even the producers, it was new to my ears. Do you know what I mean? So it was like, oh, hang on a minute, this is,
Yeah.
these don't sound ridiculous. They're young, they're rapping. I haven't got that feel from a new artist in the mainstream for a couple of years now.
I mean, I think that's in line with similar sort of argument with America as well. After the Drakes and the Coles and the Kendricks and the Nickys and that generation, we haven't really. I don't think I've seen like the superstars that are going to take it on for that next gen. You have, I don't know if I count Travis as the generation that came after that. I don't think so, but you haven't really seen that. So I think it's kind of is kind of in line with that, except
Oh, what was after?
yeah. And it sounds like Mo's looking for the next superstars here.
We've got superstars here, though. Central C is going to be a superstar.
Is he a superstar now?
He's not a superstar now, but he's only been around for like a year or so.
Does his music back up his superstardom?
Depends on who you're asking.
I'm asking you.
Can we like also like we have to understand hotness as well, and it's very temporary.
Here we go.
No, that's the truth though. But we have to understand that. We have to put that into context. Just because someone's extremely hot now, does that mean they're going to have the same longevity and the same sort of greatness that someone like a Dave has?
Dave doesn't have that much longevity. He's only
Forget that. I'm talking about the greatness.
the greatness.
That's music though.
It just depends on the music. I think with Central C and mainstream rappers, the thing with mainstream rappers is, especially when they're dropping like projects and they're dropping music sort of thing, there's an element always, whether you're Stormzy, whether you're Dave, whether you're Central C, whoever, of keeping up with what is hot and, you know, feeding that, whilst also getting into your kind of more artistic bag. If you're talking about the superstars that are just artistic in every way, shape or form, a la a Dave, you might be searching a little bit more for that compared to someone like a Central C who is coming into the game, came on this drill wave, and he's slowly but surely exploring other sounds. You know what I mean? He's being more artistically, he's like exploring a lot more, being vulnerable, you know, stuff like that. So you kind of give these people more time to grow and you see where they go. He's definitely hot, and I do feel like he is going to be around for a while because he's very focused in this thing. And people like Tion as well, like they're in it for the long haul. They're going to be mainstays. Whether they're going to be reaching the levels of a Stormzy of Dave, in your guys' opinion, is still out there for debate, to be fair.
Bro, I ain't gonna lie to you, man.
Here we go.
A lot of the music I hear these days, it just doesn't have the sound of longevity to me, man. I just can't. I can't imagine myself listening to a lot of it 5 years from now. There's not many artists here that I can see really doing that, man.
I think someone.
I just can't.
Well, again,
Maybe it's the sound. Maybe it's the sound.
but they're
Maybe
all young as well.
Huh?
They're all mad young.
Cool, but just based on the music that I can only judge them based on the music they're making now. I don't know what music they're gonna end up making, but based on the music a lot of them are making now, I just can't see myself in 5 years saying, "Yo, I want to listen to that real quick."
Well, that's why I'm reserving judgment, because they're so young and they're in early stage of their careers to where they might not be making the same music that they're making now in 5 years' time. They could be reaching those other levels of like what you guys deem to be quality music. Maybe. You never know.
There's something about the trap sound and the drill sounds that just doesn't feel like longevity, man. It really feels of the time. Because when I think about a lot of the music that I consider to hold that longevity, it just sounds different, man. It's just way more musicianship to it. And I don't know, man. I don't really hear it like that.
Does grime have much longevity for you?
Or is it timeless is the question you should be asking.
Answer your question then.
Probably not. Probably not. I probably have to be feeling nostalgic to really listen to P's and Q's.
I hear that.
So probably not, no.
I hear that. And the thing with grime is it's kind of just stayed in the same place. It hasn't really developed. And anybody who was grime is doing UK rap or, you know, dipping into drill these days as well to kind of stay, not all the way stay relevant, but to explore a new thing. Whereas grime as a sound generally is kind of just, we're having a debate now still whether grime is dead sort of thing.
Yeah. To me, it's just UK rap in general. I just feel like there was a period where there was just so many people coming out. I know I can repeat it, whether it's Mo Stag, the Lotto Boys, Captain Conan. It was just new people coming from every which avenue with heaters, with bangers. I feel like right now it's stagnant. Yeah, you got Central C, you got Tion Wayne, and then you got RD, and then you got H. But bar maybe a couple like the Tions and it. I don't think if you're looking at the quality we had that was coming out back then compared to the quality now. Do you know what I mean? Like,
I think
someone like Mo Stack was ridiculously high, but if you bring out Mo Stack today, he's going clear compared to these man just because of competition.
Yeah, I suppose, but I don't want to think of the rap scene as kind of like this conveyor belt of like a certain type of artist that's getting turned out every like year or so to meet your standards sort of thing.
Yeah.
There's going to be peaks and troughs. There's going to be, you know, highs and lows to your taste sort of thing. It's not every couple years you're going to get another superstar cast a la a Dave, Stormzy, Huss every 2 years.
It's been 6 years now.
Well, I mean, again, it just depends on who you're checking out for. Like, Tion has been in the game for a long ass time. He's now one of the premier rappers in the game. And that's just from being around and adapting to what's going on. If you listen to have you listened to his last album?
I like Tion.
It's not just drill. Like he's making popular music, popular drill music, but he's still a road rapper. He's still a UK rapper in that respect as well. He's still very much in that mode. So I feel like with the game, it's a thing of for me anyways, reserving judgment and seeing where it goes. Because here's the thing, even if we're still relying on the Daves, the Stormzys, the Husses, and, you know, legends like Gets and Kano to drop quality work, I mean, they should be. Like, they've been in the game long enough. They should be improving every time, sort of thing. And that they're contributing to what makes the scene great as a whole. But if you're talking about new mainstream rappers, we're in an age now where they're gonna try and make stuff that's more accessible and popular that might not necessarily be conducive to quality, in your opinion.
And that's the problem.
That's the problem.
That's the problem, man. Too many artists are coming out and just making music of the time and just diluting the genre and our culture. We need more artists that are striving for timelessness. We need more artists that are striving to really, really be established as artists, not someone just quickly trying to make peas off, you know, what's in at the moment. We need more Simses. We need more Daves and that. Those artists are not making music of the time. They're real artists, and we need more of that. And until we see more of that, then the scene's just going to keep being diluted, in my humble opinion.
I think we're going through our old seventh phase in America.
To be fair,
Oh, boy.
a lot of these
What
artists...
if I don't want to be fair?
You're clearly not. To be fair to a lot of these artists, especially when it comes to like drill and kind of more like popular sounds currently, they use that as an in to the game. It might not always be the end point for them to just be a drill rapper. Heady One, for instance, he came in on the drill thing. He did a tape with Fred Again, who's like an electronic music producer. No drill, kind of more like housey, or a more derogative term, unce. You know, and people hated it. But that's Heady One exploring his artistry more.
Yeah.
He's trying to do new things. He's trying to have longevity. I think there's a case with a lot of these rappers that come through of using a sound as a kind of gateway to then exploring other aspects of your artistry, especially as you get older. A lot of them are still coming into the game 19, 20, 21. They don't know who they are as artists.
But-
Sims didn't know who she was as an artist compared to, I mean, obviously she was making similar type of music throughout her career, but she wasn't a finished article. They never are. So it's a thing of you gotta let them.
Give him time.
No, but
You
some
gotta
of
give
these-
them time, man.
Some of them were solid to me. Like Heady's solid to me, but I just feel like it's just a lack of artists today. I don't count Heady as today. I'm just talking about people that I feel like I've heard of Heady for a while. I'm just talking about people that I feel like are new. I don't feel like I'm not being moved.
And that's fine. That's fine. That's because they're not making music that moves you, right? But you're not really moved by that kind of popular stuff anyway. Generally.
But I just feel like even when it was popular back then, there was still popular music we were still a staple. The music was still music somewhat. Whoever was popping back then, music was still music.
I just think at the time it was more to your taste. And this time it's not to your taste. I think it's just a matter of case.
Yeah, because it's gone meaty.
Yeah, in your opinion.
Yeah.
And it's only your opinion. Because you could ask the next man and they could say, we're having a great time a la 2014, 2015, 2016. It's just down to your ear and what you think is good, basically. Like, I'm going to keep saying his name, Central C. He makes good music. It might not necessarily be to the level of, well, I mean, whether he makes better music than Fredo is up for debate. I mean, Fredo is not the best. But he's part of that tree, right? That tree, right? So it just depends on who you're asking, man. But I think with a lot of them, I don't think it's a case of the UK rap scene having peaked. I think it's just in a period now where a lot of artists are making music that's not to your taste.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's peaked. I wouldn't go
No,
that far.
I don't think it's peaked.
Nah.
I just feel like we're just right now on a. I just feel right now, yeah, we're on a bit of a downer. It's gonna go back up. It's just the nature of music. I just feel like right now, we was at a peak and we've gone down now. Put it that way. I feel like we can always come back, but I just feel like we're on a down season. Like when we come back one year, and scored only 16 goals. Next year, scored 20 plus. So it's like you can do that.
Well, we'll see, innit?
That's a great analogy to be
We
fair.
need to be honest with you.
We'll see.
Like I love UK music. So it's just
Me too.
But you're always gonna what?
I do. What do you mean?
yeah, me that was a great pause.
New UK
Yeah, me
music.
that was
Alright,
great.
fine.
Yeah, me that was great. Yeah, me that was great.
I do like new
Oh, you-
artists.
name 5.
Mainstream,
Like-
mainstream.
Give me 5 that you like.
Nux. That's my guy.
That's not mainstream, bro.
That's not mainstream. Give me 5 you like mainstream.
Mainstream.
Just 5.
J Huss.
1.
You didn't even like him before, to be fair.
Dave.
I'll never let you
He looked down
live
on
that
us.
down.
He looked
I'll
down
never
on
let
us.
you live that down.
Those how I
still.
didn't like it.
You looked
I just
down on
was
me.
late. I was
You-
late.
You didn't like it. Okay.
I like Tion.
Do you?
Yeah, I like Tion. I like a couple of his tunes. That's it.
Yeah, man. Listen, there's bare people, even if they're not new, they are still kind of new because they're still so young.
Yeah.
Heady is still relatively new. Little Sims, even though she shouldn't have won Best New Artist at the Brits, won Best New Artist. You know what I'm saying? So the best is still yet to come, I feel.
Yeah. I just don't count.
And I feel,
people.
and to that point also, I feel like people like Nux and people like who are just on the precipice of kind of mainstream getting more buzz, they're then going to come through and then we won't be having this discussion.
Yeah. And when they do, then we'll have this conversation.
Yeah.
Again.
And then the old
Or
heads,
not.
yeah. And then the old heads in the room will rejoice that real hip hop is back.
Oh, piss off, man.
I'm just saying, bro. I'm just saying. You literally only need to say real hip hop and you have confirmed.
I've never
your-
said that.
Exactly. All you need to do is say that to confirm your old head status.
Listen, Jiggy Brothers don't say real hip hop, man.
Cheeky brothers don't say real hip hop.
That's the. Hey, man.